Hey YouTube, I'm back and I do have a pickups video for you guys, and I did pick up a whole bunch of new things over the last week or so, but before I get to all that, I want to show you a DVD that I actually got a couple weeks ago. And this is actually something really cool. It's a show I used to watch about 15 years ago, and that is Mystery Science Theater 3000, and this is the MST3K vs. Gamera box set, and this is the 21st box set. It comes in the steel tin. The box set's actually inside the steel tin. So pretty much, if you're out of the United States or you weren't alive during the 90s, there was a show, I think it was on like the Sci-Fi Channel, and there's a couple other channels as well. But it was called Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's pretty much, they show really crappy science fiction movies and just terrible horror movies from like the 50s and the 60s. Later on, they did eventually do movies like from the 70s and 80s, but a lot of the stuff, the older stuff, is from the 50s and the 60s. But it's pretty much like a whole bunch of a guy and his robot pals, pretty much making fun of the movies, like saying, like watching a movie and then pointing out certain things that are off. Like they'll just say like, "What's up with this? What's up with that?" It's really hilarious. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. The series went on from like 89 to like 99. It only lasted about 10 years. But it's a really great series. If you haven't seen it, they actually did make a successor to a Mystery Science Theater. It's called Riff Tracks. They're pretty popular. If you haven't seen it, definitely check out YouTube. There are some great videos on it. I think it's also on Netflix as well, so this is really cool. This box set has 4 of the, I think there was 9 Gamera movies. Kind of a rip-off of Godzilla. So it's pretty interesting. Definitely check it out. It's pretty hilarious. So moving on to the handheld stuff. Start off with the DS. I got a whole bunch of DS games. First is Picross DS, which is actually a very early DS game. Don't know too much about this game. It's just a puzzle game, so it's pretty cool. Made by Nintendo. Next is WarioWare DIY Do It Yourself. Don't know too much about this game. This game came out about a year or so ago. I think it's just another Wario game, but I think you create your own mini games. I think that's just a guess. Then Tecmo Bowl Kickoff, pretty much a remake of the classic Tecmo Bowl from the NES. Nothing really so much there. Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron. Unfortunately, this is not the best version, since it's pretty much the DS doesn't have the greatest of visual capabilities, so it's kind of crappy. I think the PSP version's a lot better. Then I have the first Etrian Odyssey. Actually, this game is pretty hard to find. It's actually the first and the second one of this game are next to impossible to find around here. I find a lot of the third one, but the other two are like next to impossible. It's just an Atlas RPG. Don't know too much about it. I'm not really into RPGs, but if I can find them cheap, I'll pick them up. This game is actually pretty interesting right here. It's called Snood 2 on Vacation. It was actually a freeware game on the PC that they made on, I think, originally onto the Game Boy Advance and then to the DS. As you can tell, it looks kind of like, what is it, Bubble Bobble? Or, yeah, something like that. It's pretty much just a clone of that game. It's just, yeah, it's a really crappy clone, as you can tell, but it's actually a pretty cool and pretty addicting game on the PC. It's kind of an older PC, like, freeware game, but if you never played Snood, definitely check it out. It's pretty cool. Next is Ridge Racer DS, another early DS game, kind of not the best of the series, but it's something you don't see every day. And finally, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. I don't know too much about these Pokemon spin-offs, but I heard this one was okay, so I just thought I might pick it up. I got it pretty cheap as well. Moving on to the PSP, got 2 UMD movies. The first one is Steam Boy. This is actually made by the same person who did Akira. It takes place in early the 20th century in England, so that's pretty cool. Actually, I think like around the turn of the century, like late 1900s to the 20th century. So it's pretty cool. Definitely very interesting. A lot of, if you're into steampunk, it's a pretty cool show. And then of course it's Akira, which is arguably the greatest anime movie of all time. I think it's kind of overrated, but I've never seen the UMD version of it, so I just thought I'd pick it up. I think I picked it up for like $3. Moving on to the PSP games. First one is I guess is Jeanne d'Arc. Kind of an early-ish PSP game. Just an RPG made by Sony. Another early PSP game is just a Ridge Racer, which is actually fairly good on this. If you can find it, definitely pick it up. It's actually a lot better than the DS version. Then Need for Speed Underground Rivals. It's just a Need for Speed game. I'm not into these early like undergroundish games from Need for Speed. I'm not into that Fast and the Furious crap. I actually have really no respect for like that tuner scene. I just think it's kind of like they bastardized the cars, so I just really think it's really stupid. Monster Hunter Freedom. Really popular Japanese game. Actually, I think this is one of the greatest selling games in Japan at the moment. But not a big fan of it, but I just thought I might as well pick it up. And the final one is Spectral Souls, and it's the Resurrection of the Ethereal Empires from NAS America. It's just an RPG. I found it cheap, so I just thought I'd pick it up. I got one GameCube game, and this was originally a PC game. It was a Flash game, and that is Alien Hominid. I think you can still find it if you go like to Newgrounds. You can still play the Flash version of this game, but it's actually really cool. They released it on the PS2 and the GameCube, so definitely check it out. It's really cool. It's just it's like a beat 'em up, so definitely check that out. Okay, I got a ton of PS2 games because GameStop's starting to get rid of their PS2 games, so I just thought I should pick up before they all disappear. So the first game I got is Indigo Prophecy, pretty much the predecessor to, or the spiritual predecessor to, damn, what was that? Heavy Rain. It's pretty much like the same thing, except it's on the PS2. Kind of a, I don't know, I'm not into these type of games, but you just don't run across these very often, so I just thought I'd pick it up. Next game is actually a game I didn't even know they made. I thought they just made only like it's the only two Shadow Hearts games for the PS2. Actually, they made a third one, Shadow Hearts from the New World. I didn't even know they made this, and I've picked it up for like $11 at GameStop. It's from Xseed. Just an RPG. Next is Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal. I think this is the third in the Ratchet and Clank series. Second or third, I think. I think this is the third, if I'm not mistaken. This is a game I already have. Actually, I think I have like 3 versions of this game, and that's well, I can't see it now. It's Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. Pretty much the I guess you could say the director's cut of Metal Gear Solid 2 has a lot of extra features. Has like the VR missions, extras, stuff like that, like boss modes. Pretty cool. Then the original Ratchet and Clank. Don't see many of the black labels anymore. You usually see the greatest hits. Then I got the standard version of Final Fantasy. What is this? Final Fantasy 12. Not a great game, but thought I'd pick it up. Then Secret Agent Clank, another one you don't see very often. And finally, Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Just a standard Super Monkey Ball game. Nothing really to write home about. All right, moving on to the Wii. Got Trauma Team. This is actually the first of these Trauma games I got, so just wanted to check it out. And the final Wii game I have is a game that was actually I've been dying looking for it on the Xbox. Never can find it. It's pretty hard to find. It's actually still very expensive as well. But I did find it on the Wii. It's Sniper Elite. It's actually one of the it was one of the final Xbox games to be released. And it's pretty much like you're an American sniper that kind of sneaks into Nazi Germany towards the end of the war to pretty much Kind of like thwart the Russians. It's kind of a weird storyline, but it's interesting. So it's pretty much, it's a really gory game, so you see people's heads getting blown off, and it's extremely gory. But the interesting thing is the game that is the company that made this game, and it's from Maximum Family Games, which is kind of bizarre that it's a super gory sniper game is made by a game company called Family Games. So I just thought that was pretty bizarre. It's also a game that doesn't really describe what is in the what the rating is. Like, for example, if you see right here, it tells you what's wrong, what's with this game, so it shows blood, language, da 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 da. But this game shows nothing, which is pretty bizarre. I've never seen that before. So I just thought that was interesting. And finally, getting to the 360, I picked up one Kinect game, Sonic Free Riders. It's known to be one of the worst Kinect games, but it was dirt cheap, so I just thought I'd pick it up, and it's a Sonic game. Moving on to another terrible game, Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails. Definitely do not pick this game up. This game is very broken. It's pretty much like a Vietnam game that has like zombies and stuff, so it's bizarre. Don't even bother, it's terrible. And then I found this, which I've actually for a while been trying to find, this collector's edition. It's the Splinter Cell Double Agent Collector's Edition. It's pretty cool. It comes with this nifty slipcover. It's red, and then if you slip it off, you see it shows him, and then if you slip it off, you see him with his goggles and his gun, but if you put it back, it disappears. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice little trick. Comes with some extra features and stuff, like interviews, blah blah blah. So that's pretty cool. I've actually heard Double Agent's the worst of the console Splinter Cell games, so I'm not looking forward to playing that. Got another Raiden 4 limited edition. Comes with all the bonus discs and stuff that comes with the soundtrack. I got it dirt cheap, so I just thought I might as well pick up another one. Then I got The Darkness. Pretty okay shooter. Tropico 3, which is a pretty much like I guess like a Sim City, like Civilization type game. Takes place in like Cuba, and you pretty much create your own little dictatorship, like Banana Republic type game. Banana Republic, however you want to do that. And finally, a really rare game, but a very terrible game. This game is definitely broken. In its Darkest of Days. This game is bizarre. Pretty much, you're a soldier that was pretty much about to die in the Custer's last stand, and then a time traveler takes you back to saves you, and then you pretty much have to go through historical events in an altered time. So you'll be taken to like ancient Rome, to like World War II, World War I, the American Civil War. It's pretty bizarre, and then you'll be in this battle of like Antietam, and you'll use like modern weaponry. So pretty much like the enemies are using like cap and ball muskets, and you're using like an assault rifle. It's really bizarre. Definitely an interesting concept, but they totally dropped the ball on it. They completely fucked it up. But it's definitely interesting. It's actually pretty rare as well. So that's pretty much it, and thanks for watching.